on the rise and fall and rise again of Spyro.
Shouldn't you be working on that Spyro Part 2 thingy?
Huge. Can't tell the difference between making lots of money and taking a crap and sticking it on store shelves. Spyro Enter the Dragonfly is a horrible, glitchy mess of a game. Hey, Spyro drawing, does this suffice?
No.
Huh. Well, that was uncalled for.
To be honest, I was expecting a different reaction.
Wait a minute. Since when can you talk? You're a drawing.
I can talk through the magic of crappy video editing, so I can be used as a plot device used to force you into making videos that you would otherwise be too lazy to make.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Wait.
So when is Spyro Part 3 coming out?
So, after the disaster that was Enter the Dragonfly, Universal Studios didn't want anything to do with Spyro. So they handed the rights to Spyro over to their good friend Activision, or as I like to call them, Activision. Now, the fact that this is Activision we're talking about should be terrifying enough. But it gets worse. Activision decided that what the Spyro franchise needed was a dark and gritty reboot. First off, why? Nobody asked for this. And secondly, how do you take Spyro the Dragon, a game about a small purple dragon voiced by SpongeBob who doesn't even take himself seriously and has voice acting like this?
Thank you for releasing me!
And turn it into a gritty, mature game for mature audiences? Well, I'll tell you, you rip off Lord of the Rings. You rip off Lord of the Rings. No joke. They actually hired Elijah Wood, who played Frodo Baggins in Lord of the Rings, to voice Spyro. Oh, and about Spyro, look at him. How did they manage to screw up Spyro's design that badly? He looks as sad and depressing as this game.
Not this game, these games. There were 3 games in the reboot series.
Wait, what? It's a trilogy? No way, this is too much to handle. There's no way. It's a trilogy. My God. And if for some reason you want to know the plot, well, it's a carbon copy of Lord of the Rings. Long ago, there was a big bad guy. There was a war, and the big bad guy died. Hundreds of years later, the big bad butt comes back from being deadified, and some average dude who thinks adventures are for nerds turns out to be responsible for the magical MacGuffin that is the only thing that can stop evil McBadGuy Pants. Partway through the adventure, some magical old dude dies, then comes back because he's magic. Bad guy dies. End of story. Look, I'm not throwing shade at Lord of the Rings. I love these books. Legit, I have a replica of the Red Book of Westmarch just sitting in my room. My problem is you don't mix Spyro and Lord of the Rings together and call it a day. Lord of the Rings has nothing to do with Spyro. These games are a mockery of 2 of my favorite things of all time. You know what? I'm done. No, that's it. Bye. I'm done. I can't take this anymore. I'm out. Goodbye. Sayonara. Au revoir. Hasta la vista. So, after the Legend of Spyro series, Activision came up with one last plan to extinguish Spyro once and for all. Their plan was to stick Spyro in a series of toys-to-life games known as Skylanders and use Spyro as a selling point. Now, I will admit, despite the money-grubbing nature of Skylanders, I have a lot of nostalgia for these games. Little story, in grade 2, there were these 2 clubs. The Spies, where we would go sneaking around without being seen, and the Skylanders, where we'd pretend to be Skylanders. Anyways, one day, the 2 clubs got in an argument, and I was kind of like the leader of both clubs, but I ended up siding with the Skylanders, and that kind of turned into a straight-up brawl, which we now refer to as the war, or that stupid thing we did in grade 2 that ended in a 7-year-old's equivalent to a fist fight, aka calling names and falling on people. So yeah, I sure have a bit of history with Skylanders. But that said, I still feel as though Activision treated Spyro like crap, as he was simply a bullet point on the back of the box. This is when Spyro truly hit rock bottom. But then, out of nowhere, I go onto YouTube, and I see this in the recommended section, so I'm thinking, another conspiracy video claiming Spyro's coming back. How original. But I click on it anyways.
I think I smell a barbecue.